All right, so now let's proceed in order to install the softwares we need in order to get started with our environment. So what you're going to do, remember we downloaded Metasploit from the link that I actually gave you and I showed you in the previous video. And also, let me check. And also, we also downloaded Metasploitable, which is actually a virtual machine, sort of like an operating system that we're actually going to be using in order to actually practice our pen testing on. So let's go ahead and install Metasploit. So I'll go ahead here and then I'll go to downloads. My version is actually in the programs here. And then as you can see, this is the Metasploit framework. For those who actually downloaded VirtualBox, this is the setup for the VirtualBox here, as you can see. So you have to install VirtualBox because all of our operating systems, as for me, I'll install them in VirtualBox. I don't recommend DualBoot, but if you want to do it, then you can go ahead. So this is the Metasploit framework that I downloaded. So what you just need to do is double click it. And then just click on next here, and then accept the terms and conditions, click next, and then just make sure this is clicked, click next, and then click install, then wait for it to install. So it's quite some process. Maybe on your machines it might be faster, it might be slow, you just have to be patient on that one. So let's make sure. So for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm gonna pause a bit and then I'll continue again when the installation is finished. Alright, cool. As you can see, Metasploit is actually installed in our system. But then in order for actually to be sure about it, is to actually check to see if it is actually installed. So the only way for us to check if it is actually installed is to actually run Metasploit. So for your own information, you won't expect to find it here, but you actually go to the install location. So local drive C, as you can see, it's here, Metasploit framework. Here it is. And then let's try something here. It should be here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check if it's here. And then let's just try something. Let's just say MSF console. If it's not here, we'll check. Oh, it's actually not here. So let's go to the bin folder. Of course. So run it from the bin, CMD. So in order to launch CMD, just type it from here. Just click here on the space, CMD, or if you have Git bash installed, you can just right click from options. If you're on Windows 11, open in terminal here, or Git bash here, just depends. I've installed Git bash also, but I don't need it. So type CMD here, and then let's type MFS console, MSF console. So enter. So what the MSF console means, it just means we're just trying to launch an instance of Metasploit framework. So here we're just calling Metasploit framework console. So that's MSF, Metasploit framework console, which is right here, MSF console. That's what we're talking about. So let's wait until it runs. As you can see, it's giving us a warning, but it doesn't matter for that warning. Use the resource command to run commands from a file. We don't need that. So let's wait until it launches. As you can see, boom, we now have Metasploit installed on a Windows machine. So as you can see, it actually gives us the database of the exploits that it actually has, which is 2,335 here, and then 1,230. And then the payloads will explain everything here. What are these exploits? What are these payloads? What is this auxiliary? What are these encoders? And these evasion tools. So if you see this warning here, this copy of the Metasploit framework has been corrupted by an installed antivirus program. Comment that you disable your antivirus or exclude your Metasploit installation path, then restore the removed files from quarantine or reinstall Windows, restore the firm. So if you are actually facing an error pertaining to something like this, what you actually need to do is actually caused by your antivirus. So what you need to do is to actually disable your antivirus when you're actually installing in the first place, and then you have to do sort of like a reinstallation of the whole framework itself. So just delete the folder. You don't need to do much. You can actually just come here and then go into local C Metasploit framework, and then just delete this folder here, and then you can restart the installation so that you don't have to get this error. It just shows that it has removed some modules here which we want to use. So that's it. So you now have Metasploit installed, and then just make sure you disable your antivirus when you're installing Metasploit framework so that it doesn't actually stop some modules from installing. So this is why it's recommended usually to use Linux distros. You don't actually have to deal with this kind of errors in the first place. So now this is how you actually install it within a Windows environment. So now you'll be done in order to actually get along with the lesson for now. But you'll see at later stages you actually need the Linux systems like Parrot or Kali Linux, because it actually comes pre-installed in other supplementary tools. So now let's proceed. For those who actually use Ubuntu, actually let me start my Ubuntu. But what you just need to do if you're running Ubuntu, there's just a command that you just need to do to install Metasploit on Ubuntu. So remember, Ubuntu, you actually have to just use wget. So you just have to type in wget depending on the Ubuntu flavor that you're actually using. So you use the wget command in order to actually install it on Linux. So I'll just give you the command here. So you just type in wget, and then you only have to type the download link for Metasploit. So just type in wget http. So this is just a link, nothing. Downloads metasploit.com, and then you have to put /data/ to go to the releases. You have to go to the releases part. So this just lists all the releases that we want. But remember, we want the latest release. So we type in Metasploit and then put a dash, and then type in latest, and then you put a dash, and then you put Linux. Remember, Ubuntu is Linux, and then you put a dash, type in we want the installer version, and then we want the runnable version. So this is just the link that you actually need to use. Then for demonstration sake, let me just try to run it in my Git bash to see if it actually works. Usually it won't, but let's see. So let me just do a Git bash share. So just paste this one in, let's click, and then I'll say first. I don't know why it copied with this or these things. So we got, so on Ubuntu guys, this is just the command that you actually use, but we don't have wget here. So remember, wget is an package installer command for those who are actually using Ubuntu, but that is literally the command. I'll also send it. This is the command that you actually have to run. And then after you are done, so this just downloads more like an installable runnable file, where you actually need to just either double click to run it once the installer is actually downloaded. So for Ubuntu systems, I think I'll do a recording on an Ubuntu system so that I can also show you how to actually run it in that kind of Linux environment. And then onwards, remember now we actually have to set up our exploitable machine. That is the machine that we're actually going to run and pen testing on, sort of like a working practice on. So remember, I told you to download the Metasploitable package. So programs. So this is my Metasploitable system, which is here, as you can see from here. So what I have to do is right click on it, and then I have to extract it. So I'll extract it to Metasploitable Linux here and watch it extract. So remember, I'm running everything on VirtualBox. Let me show you what is VirtualBox. So I'm using Oracle VirtualBox to run everything. So this is VirtualBox. So when you install, this is what you get. So we are going to see how we can actually run the machine that we're actually going to use for practice in hacking, and also doing our scripting on. So which is the Metasploitable machine. So this is the VirtualBox part. So once it is done extracting, go to the folder here, Metasploitable here, and then what we need to run is actually this. As you can see, Metasploitable.vmdk. As you can see, there's an icon here because it actually notices there's VirtualBox actually installed. If you actually install the VMware workstation, you can also see this will be active, the VMDK, which is a virtual manager disk. So just double click on this one for it to launch on VirtualBox. So select app. App is not coming out here. Let's see. So if your application is actually not coming out, let me see. Let's try to run the VMX file. Oh, it also needs. Maybe what we can do. Let's just click on this one, and then show more options, and then I'll select open right there, and then choose another app on the PC, and then I have to locate where's my VirtualBox installed. So let me just check if I have VirtualBox installed. Or you can actually go to your VirtualBox here and click on visit machine, and then you can actually add a new machine here. So you can click on add. So as you can see, it's looking for virtual machine files. Let's go to programs and see if we can get it. Oh, so it's looking for the .vbox and the .xml. I think that's going to be a problem for us, but I think what we can do. All right. So in order for us to just noticed, in order for us to actually install this VMDK, it no longer supports the issue of just double clicking and it automatically sets up and what have you. So it actually just recommends us now to actually do all the manual work for it. So in order to actually set this up, what you're going to do, please make sure you actually have please VirtualBox installed. So I'll show you right now. So just double click on VirtualBox, please, and actually just make sure you install it. Just click on next. As you can see, it's actually telling me to repair remove. Just do next until it's actually done. And then after you are done, just what I want you to do, just type in VirtualBox, and then if you click on this, it will actually open the interface of VirtualBox. You won't see anything actually from here. You actually have to you actually have to sort of like you will not see anything here. That's the thing. So what I want you to do, there's this new button, click on new, and then I want you to name the machine anything. So this is the installation of the Metasploitable machine. That is the target machine that we're actually going to be hacking and are actually going to be doing practice on. So I'll name mine Hacking Lab. I don't know what you want to call yours. And then on type, I want you to say Linux, and then on version here, I want you to say other Linux 64-bit here, and then on the ISO image, don't click anything, leave it as not selected, and then here the folder, this is the default folder that I'm using, so you can just leave everything as default, click next, and then here it actually allocates the RAM based on your RAM that is available, so it's 512 on CPU, click next, and then it actually asks you how much disk size that you want to choose. Automatically it recommends 8 based on your hard disk size, so I'll just click next and then finish it. So now we need to attach a hard disk to this Hacking Lab whereby everything will be launched from. So I want you to highlight this like this, and then click settings, and then after you click settings, I want you to navigate to storage, which is here. So after you navigate to storage, click storage, and then so you wouldn't see this, so let me remove it for you. So you would see something like this here. So what I want you to do is you are supposed to click here, which is just a disk sign with a plus. So it actually allows us to add a hard disk, so click on plus here, and then it actually allows us to choose a hard disk from this side. So what I want you to do, don't focus on these ones, they're mine here, and then I want you to click on add. After you click on add, I want you to locate where your file is, so mine is in downloads, and then I'll go to programs, Metasploitable Linux, and then double click on this Metasploitable VMTK, and then afterwards make sure this one is highlighted, this VMTK here, make sure, and then click on choose here. So it will automatically attach this as the hard disk of your machine. So it's more like you're creating a machine here. Click OK. So after you are done, it's already set up. Now click on start. So this will start our hacking machine, which is our exploitable target. So this is the exploitable target that we're actually starting. So you wait for the virtual machine to set up everything. So you can see it's starting now. Starting virtual machine, and then let's see if it succeeded. It did. So as you can see, it's now loading things here. So if I maximize this, let's see if I can actually adjust to full screen here. Switch. Okay. So as you can see, it's now loading. So we wait for the system to actually finish loading. This is actually quite a process. So I'll pause. Okay, as you can see, it has actually finished. It will ask you for the login. So the default logins, as you can see, login with MSF admin. So MSF admin, meta MSF admin. Press on enter here, and then this is how we actually log in. Oh, sorry. So let me try again. MSF admin. MSF admin. As you can see, we have actually logged into the Metasploitable machine, which we're actually going to be using for our target hacking practice. So with this, you are actually done installing for now. So let me pause on this one. Okay, so when you see this, you're done. So I'm going to close this machine, and then I'm going to power it off. Now leave it here. And then for those who actually downloaded the Parrot VirtualBox version, what you just need to do is actually it will download as a zip file, extract the zip file wherever you extract it, and once you're done, go over to the extraction. Let me see where I actually extracted mine. I don't remember, extracted it. Okay, I think it's in music. Yes, it's here, Parrot. And then if you managed to download the Parrot VirtualBox after extraction, these are the 3 files that you see. And in order to actually run your file automatically in VirtualBox, you just double click on the parrotsecurity.ovf file. So you can see there's an OVF file here. So you just double click on this file, and it will automatically set up within your VirtualBox. So the moment that you click or double click here, what it will do, it will automatically create a Parrot security instance for you automatically. You don't need to do anything. It will automatically assign everything. All you need to do is just click finish and it will automatically set it up. Once it has actually set it up here, so this is the same procedure for Kali Linux for VirtualBox. So I'll be using Parrot in this instance, but you can actually use Kali Linux. It's literally the same thing. So I'll just start Parrot here. So for those who have Parrot or Kali Linux installed, the Metasploit framework automatically comes installed. All you just need to do is to just use it. It's automatically there, so you'll be able to actually follow along as you're actually doing this lectures. So here I'll just be demonstrating. The commands are the same for those who are using Kali Linux. And then if it asks you for a password when you're using Parrot, the password will be Parrot. The user will actually be Parrot. I think it actually uses the name of the system. So this is what you get when Parrot is starting in VirtualBox. So the good part of VirtualBox, you don't have to leave your Windows machine. Like I said, you actually have to use it from here. So you don't need to actually leave your Windows operating system. So let's see. I think it's actually, yes, it's starting. So this is the Parrot operating system. So now it will greet you with probably a login page. So we wait for it. So as you can see, I already have the mouse for the operating system. Forgive my machine is kind of a bit slow in this one. So this is the Parrot operating system, hacking operating system. So you can just have a feel of it. If you go to applications, you go to pen testing, these are all the tools that you actually have. So if the most used tools, information gathering. So these are the the stages of hacking, like what we discussed: information gathering, vulnerability analysis, exploitation, and whatever. So you have time to learn all these tools. So Metasploit automatically actually comes within the system itself, so you actually don't even need to actually install it. So we have information gathering tools, we have vulnerability analysis tools, we have web application analysis, then we have exploitation, and then as you can see from exploitation, that's why you see the Metasploit framework. That's what to use. So remember the MSF console that we are actually calling from Windows side. This is here, which is the Metasploit console here. So as you can see, they are packaged together, which means that they are supplementary of each other. Armitage is supplementary to Metasploit console and the MSF Phenom. So in order to actually launch, so that you see the same interface as Windows, first of all you have to run it as root. So you say sudo bash, and then if it asks you for a password, just say Parrot. Don't need to say anything, and then just type in MSF console. So it's the same command, if you remember, that you actually run from the Windows side, MSF console, and it will actually greet you with the same interface that you saw when we actually ran it here. So it will be the same interface. So even if you're on Windows, even if you're using Parrot, even if you're using Ubuntu, you can still follow along, because these commands are actually just the same thing. So as you can see, it's now starting the Metasploit framework console. So for now, I think this is all what we need with our exploitable machine, which is here, the Hacking Lab, which is what we created before. We have our hacking operating system, which is running on Parrot, and then we have also our Metasploit framework running on Windows, running on Parrot, running on Ubuntu. So now we go to the next section. This is now done for the installation, but this is what we need for now in order to actually get started. But as you can see, if you want to follow along in the future lessons, you will need any of these Linux distros running on VirtualBox for your safety. So just run the Parrot one or the Kali Linux one. So